This is the old APD which has come for overhauling. So you need to first dismantle this. You need to use proper tools for dismantling of the EPD. These are the tools which are required for disassembly and assembly of the EPD. Some specialized tools are there. This one is for fitting the O-rings and this one is for removing O-rings. And this is chuck, which is also very important. These are the consumables required for the assembly. This is petroleum jelly. We are not supposed to use grease for assembly. We are always using petroleum jelly wherever required. The usage of grease should be totally avoided because it gets hardened in the service. But petroleum jelly is a light lubricant. It is recommended in the maintenance instructions also. So this is one consumable, and this one is another consumable, which is silicon sealant. We will be using these two consumables while assembly. Once all the items have been dismantled, the items which we don't replace during the overhaul, all the metallic parts basically, they should be cleaned thoroughly. How you clean it? First we immerse all these metallic items in diesel and then we brush them. Once these items have been cleaned or brushed with the help of diesel, you should remove it from diesel and then blow compressed air to remove any debris, then wipe it from a clean lint free cloth. Once cleaning and wiping is over, we need to thoroughly inspect the metallic items for any dents, cracks, scratches and any other visual defects. If any of the visual defects found on these surfaces, they must be scrapped. That is very important. So one problem we basically find is the stems bent. If this stem is bent, these stems are not included in the kit. So if these stems are bent somehow, so we need to reject them. We need to replace them. So if we cannot replace them, we better scrap the entire EPD. Now we will see the disassembly and assembly of low water and crankcase button subassembly. It is important to note that while holding for disassembly and assembly, you should only hold on the steel part, not on the aluminum part. We use a 3-jaw self-centered check for holding the button for assembly and disassembly. Now I will show you removing of the old O-ring and inserting the new O-ring. Now we will insert the new O-ring with the help of the specialized tool. And then apply some petroleum jelly over the O-ring. Now we will assemble the stem and button assembly. Make sure to check the spring tension because this spring is not replaceable. So this will be there. The old spring only will be there. So please make sure that this spring is working fine. For tightening the Allen bolt, again use the chuck, 3-jaw chuck. Similar way, disassemble and assemble the crankcase button also. Now the two sub-assemblies are ready. Now we will see gearbox o-ring replacement. First we need to remove this part with the help of a tool like this. So the tool, it is very important to make sure that the tool doesn't have any sharp edges. You are not supposed to use the tools like Allen keys. Allen keys have sharp edges. It is preferable to use this type of tool. Open it like this. Now remove the o-rings. And replace with the new o-rings. Make sure that it is fully tight. With a similar procedure, please replace the o-rings of the crankcase block assembly also. So the way you have done for this, same has to be done for the crankcase block also. Now we will see airbox diaphragm subassembly. So that is the silicone gel being applied. Thoroughly apply the gel. Align it. Apply the silicone sealant again. Proper alignment is required. Again alignment. Nylon screws, they should also be applied with the silicone sealant. Now we will install o-rings for lube oil block. Now we will do copper bend tube boring replacement. Now we will replace lube oil block o-ring replacement. Only hand tight now. Final tightening will be done later. Application of petroleum jelly. Now we will start the final assembly. Step by step we will show how to assemble the complete EPD.
ಫುಲ್ ಟೈಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು.
Brass spacers must be only taken from approved sources. You should see to it that there are no sharp edges. If there are any sharp edges present in the spacer diaphragms, they are certainly going to destroy the diaphragms in a very short period of time. They are going to cut through the diaphragms and the service life will come down. So make sure that you always buy and source the brass spacer diaphragms from BLW approved sources only. And this brass item also should not contain any sharp edges. Make sure that. Use good quality silicone sealant. This is the big spacer. Make sure that this big spacer also doesn't contain any sharp edges on both sides. We have 8 quarter-inch Allen bolts over here. So for those we have to use 6.78 Newton meters torque. So I will show you how to set 6.78 Newton meters in torque wrench and how to tighten those bolts. Now you are seeing the torque wrench set to 6.8. 6.78 is not possible, so we have set it to 6.8. These are the 8 bolts, quarter-inch bolts. So these are 4 and these 4. Now the final tightening is being done with the help of a torque wrench. The torque wrench is set to 6.78. You can see the click in the torque wrench. So once the required torque is reached, it is going to make a click sound. Now the other side. There are 4 retaining Allen bolts as well. For them, 1.7 Newton meters should be used torque as per MI 260. So make sure that you set the torque range to 1.7 Newton meters and tighten these bolts. And make sure that while tightening these bolts, the button should be in latched condition. The next step is to fix the crankcase button. For these 4 quarter-inch bolts also, you are supposed to use 6.78 Newton meter torque and tighten them. Tighten these bolts to the specified torque as per MI. Finally, the copper bend tube should be assembled. So for these Allen bolts, please use the torque which is specified in the MI. Complete assembly is ready, and you can see here. Make sure that while storing these EPD assemblies, unlatch the 2 buttons and store them. It is better to unlatch and store, not to keep in latched condition both the buttons.